Hi, I'm Susan Erickson. Last month, I told you that I was going to tell you which rock I love. I misspoke because it's like picking your favorite child. They're all so precious and they're all so different in their own way. So you're just going to have to be content with looking at the rock that I like this month. So I picked up this rock 48 years ago. I was standing in the middle of a volcano with really towering walls of black glass. There were boulders and pebbles, but large, like refrigerator pieces. I don't remember exactly, but it was all obsidian. Really beautiful. I was on a field trip with four other graduate students. I think there were four graduate students in total and the professor, and we were in a small plane that we were looking at the landforms of the West, the volcanic landforms, and then landing to study the rocks themselves. So we'd gone through Arizona, New Mexico, and then in Las Vegas, we totaled the airplane when we were landing. So we didn't know what we could do. How do we go on? What do? We lost our plane. I had this rock. One of the grad students said, "Give me your money." Now, remember, this was Las Vegas, but we gave him our money, and he came back with a car. So the $400 we patched out of our little graduate student pockets, he bought a car. It was so big that when we went through Yellowstone, I could stretch out in the back seat all the way across to sleep. So this rock traveled up to Northern California to Mount Lawson and then on to Crater Lake and then across to Yellowstone and back to Cincinnati. And when I went with my new husband to South Africa a year later, I took these to my mother's and daddy's farm down in Kentucky. Well, when I was in South Africa, they sold the farm and got rid of a lot of stuff. A lot of my things got given away or sold. And my mother kept these rocks and she took them into the new house in Stanford and they sat on our hearth for a few decades. So the first thing I love about this rock is that it reminds me of my early days as a geologist and the unique, wonderful field trip, and also the memory of my mother having kept this rock all those years. So in 2020, I moved to California. Oh, wait, I want to tell you the second reason that I love this rock. It's pretty, shiny, black. It's really lovely. A friend in Boulder said, if the rock's gone, you know where to come find it. It's so pretty. A lot of people love this rock. It's shiny black with conchoidal fracture. Now, you know what conchoidal fracture is because you've broken glass before and you know how it breaks. And I put water on it earlier, so it's nice and shiny. Sometimes geologists will actually spit on a rock to see what the texture looks like. Then, of course, the last reason I love this is its geological history. When I collected this rock, I wasn't so interested in how old it was because we were standing in this volcano with all this walls of glass. But the rocks in this area erupted from series of rocks from 45,000 to 10,000 million years, but some erupted as late as 700 years ago. When it cooled, it became a rock and set the radioactive decay in place, and so a rock was born. So this rock's maybe only 700 years old. Now, my thesis rocks in South Africa were 2,000 million years old. That's 2 billion years old. So this one's a mere baby as far as I'm concerned. And when I moved back here, no, not back here, I moved to California in 2020, the rock came back to its birthplace, its geologic birthplace, and it's from Mono Lake, part of the Mono Inyo craters on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada. And it's only about 150 miles southeast of here. So if you want to find out more about those rocks, I put a link in the newsletter. And there's also a beautiful book with an essay, a link to an excerpt from the essay on a scientist who walked across the Sierra Nevada, and he stopped at the very place this rock came from. So come back next month for another series in what I love about this rock. See you then.